It started subtly. There was a tremor in her left hand. Sarah, a vibrant graphic designer of 32, first dismissed it as just a simple caffeine overload. She lived on coffee. Deadlines and, honestly, the creative energy that pulsed through her downtown loft. The slight, almost imperceptible shake was just a nuisance, a glitch in her otherwise perfectly calibrated system. She'd simply cut back on espresso, she told herself, and maybe, get a little more sleep. But the tremor didn't listen. It was an uninvited guest, one that had no intention of leaving. Soon it wasn't just a tremor. A strange stiffness began to creep into her fingers, making the delicate work of sketching with a stylus feel clumsy and, foreign. The guest grew bolder. Her gait, once confident and brisk, became a careful, measured shuffle. Friends would joke, asking if she'd had a wild night out. She would laugh along, but a cold knot of fear tightened in her stomach. The life Sarah had meticulously built began to crumble piece by piece. Her career, once her greatest source of pride, became a daily struggle. The tremor in her hand made precision work nearly impossible. A straight line would waver. A perfect circle would become a jagged oval. Her mouse would skitter across the screen unpredictably. Deadlines she once met with ease now loomed like impossible mountains. Her boss, initially understanding, started to show signs of impatience. The way he assigned the most intricate projects to her colleagues felt like a series of small, sharp cuts to her professional identity. She was no longer the star designer. She was becoming a liability. Gallery openings, dinners, weekend trips dwindled to almost nothing. The fatigue was a relentless tyrant, demanding she surrender her evenings and weekends to the couch. The emotional toll was the most devastating part. Sarah felt a profound sense of shame. Sarah's journey into the healthcare system was a descent into a labyrinth of confusion and dismissal. Her first visit was to her general practitioner, a kind but busy doctor who listened patiently to her list of symptoms. The tremor, the stiffness, the fatigue. The doctor ran a standard battery of blood tests. Finding nothing amiss, he suggested it was likely stress-related. "You have a high-pressure job," he said, writing a prescription for a mild anti-anxiety medication. "Try to take it easy, maybe take up yoga." Sarah left the office feeling unheard, a flicker of hope extinguished. The weeks that followed brought no relief. The tremor worsened, and now her right leg would occasionally drag as she walked. Desperate, she sought a second opinion, this time with a neurologist. This doctor was more thorough, conducting a physical exam and ordering an MRI of her brain. But the results came back clear. No signs of a stroke, no tumor, no multiple sclerosis. The neurologist was stumped. He suggested it could be an atypical presentation of a movement disorder, but without clear evidence, he was reluctant to make a diagnosis. With each new specialist, the cycle of hope and disappointment repeated. She spent countless hours online, falling down rabbit holes of medical websites, comparing her experience to those of anonymous strangers on patient forums. Instead of providing clarity, it only deepened her anxiety. As weeks turned into months with no answers, the whispers of doubt began to creep in. Not just from doctors, but from those closest to her. Was she depressed? Was she imagining the severity of her symptoms? Maybe it was all in her head. At work, the whispers were more overt. Colleagues would exchange glances when she stumbled in the hallway or took longer to complete a simple task. She replayed every doctor's appointment in her head, every dismissive comment, every inconclusive test result. The lack of a diagnosis left a void, and into that void rushed all her deepest insecurities. The breaking point arrived on a Tuesday afternoon. Sarah was in the middle of a crucial presentation to a major client, a project she had poured her last reserves of energy into. She stood before the boardroom table, a laser pointer in her trembling hand. As she tried to highlight a key feature on the projection screen, the red dot danced erratically, a frantic, jittery pattern that mirrored the chaos in her nervous system. She tried to steady her hand, gripping it with her other, but the tremor was just too strong. The room fell silent. All eyes were on her shaking hand. She stammered an apology, her voice barely a whisper, and abruptly left the room. She stumbled to the restroom, locked herself in a stall, and finally let out the choked sobs she had been holding back for so long. It wasn't just about the failed presentation. It was the public culmination of all her private failures, the undeniable proof that she was no longer in control. That evening, she told Mark everything. Not the sanitized version, but the raw, terrifying truth. She confessed her fears of losing her job, her friends, and him. Seeing her so completely broken, Mark's confusion finally gave way to fierce resolve. "No," he said, his voice firm. "We are not giving up. I don't care how many doctors we have to see. We will find it." Sarah took a leave of absence from work. For the first time in months, she had the space to simply be sick, without apology or explanation. Together, she and Mark embarked on a new, more aggressive search for answers. Their relentless search led them to a name: Dr. Alistair Finch, a neurologist at a teaching hospital in another state, renowned for his work with rare, complex movement disorders. His waiting list was months long, but Mark's persistent, impassioned calls finally secured them a cancellation slot. They packed a bag and made the 6-hour drive. This felt different. This wasn't just another appointment, it was a pilgrimage. They carried a thick binder of Sarah's medical records, a testament to their long, frustrating journey through the medical maze. Dr. Finch was unlike any doctor they'd met before. He spent nearly 2 hours with Sarah. He didn't just review her file. He listened. The first tremor, the creeping stiffness, the profound fatigue. He had a strong suspicion these fit a rare genetic condition. He proposed specialized tests, a genetic panel and a test for specific enzyme levels in her blood. The 2-week wait for results was agonizing. When the call finally came, Dr. Finch's voice was steady and reassuring. "We have it, Sarah," he said. "The tests are positive for Wilson's disease." Relief, so profound it made her knees weak. Fear, at finally having a name for the monster that had stalked her. Validation, she wasn't crazy. Dr. Finch explained Wilson's disease in clear, simple terms. He described it as a rare genetic disorder that prevents the body from properly removing excess copper. This copper accumulates in the liver, brain, and eyes. Think of it like a faulty drain. The copper builds up slowly over years and eventually reaches toxic levels. In your case, accumulation in your brain is causing the neurological symptoms. The treatment is lifelong but straightforward. It focuses on 2 main goals: removing the excess copper and preventing it from building up again. The first step, a chelating agent. The second, zinc supplements and a low-copper diet. Shellfish, nuts, chocolate, mushrooms. This felt like a small price to pay for getting her life back. The diagnosis changed everything. The cloud of uncertainty finally dissipated, replaced by the clear light of understanding. When Sarah shared the news with her family, their relief was palpable. The doubt and confusion were replaced with focused compassion. Her mother spent hours researching low-copper recipes. Her father read every article he could find. She was kinder to herself. She accepted physical limitations without judgment, learned new tools like voice-to-text, and attended physical therapy. The first few months on chelation were difficult with side effects, but gradually she noticed small changes. The tremor lessened. The brain fog started to lift. After 6 months of treatment, Sarah returned to work part-time on her own terms. Her workplace became more accommodating and understanding. Her creativity returned. She was not the same person she was before the illness, but she was strong, resilient, and grateful. Sarah's story is a powerful testament to human resilience in the face of the unknown. Her experience underscores the immense challenges millions living with rare diseases face: a long and painful diagnostic odyssey, skepticism, and isolation. It is a call to action. Listen with empathy, advocate with tenacity, and hold on to hope. A diagnosis is more than a label. It is a lifeline. It transforms a collection of mysterious problems into a person with a condition that is understood, managed, and fought. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe for more stories that matter. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Like this video to help us reach more people. Your support makes all the difference.